All right, so I'm going to share my screen. And what I'm doing in this recording is focusing on Project 2 right now. Remember Project 2? I have a little recording on like the introduction to that, and now I'm focusing on like the technical part of it, where you're going to be making your graphs. Again, just real quick. Again, this is just the example. And so what you're going to be doing is you're going to be doing a confidence interval for difference in means. You're going to be doing a randomization test for difference in means, and then you're going to be doing the same thing for proportions, confidence interval, and hypothesis tests. So I want to show how to real quick go about making those. On this recording, I'm going to specifically focus on these two, which is the confidence intervals, and then I'll do a separate one for these two here, the hypothesis test. So again, remember you are using your data, you're reusing your data from project one. So I have mine. This is actually to give credit where credit's due. This is actually one of my previous students. So I'm going to go into my project one, and then right here I've got the the example student data. And then again, this would be your original data that you collected for project one, where you've got your main your one of your categorical variables was like two different groups. So this was like female, male, and then you've got your two quantitative variables, and then you've got your categorical variable that was, based on like some kind of opinion. Now, so the first thing I need to do, if it's maybe been a little while and I don't have it anymore, is to download a version of this that's going to be the CSV, and you can see that already popped up here in my downloads. So actually, I'm already done with that. So I'm going to go ahead and just go over to StatKey. Actually, I don't even need that tab anymore. And then when I'm doing these two confidence intervals, the difference in means is actually the one that's like really fast. So I'm going to click on that one, and then we'll upload the file. And then this is where you'll want to go again. I need to come over here if you need to and go find your downloads. I'm already on my downloads, but I'm just going to click on it again. And so then you would have your CSV that pops up. This is my student data set. And then when you get here, you're doing your two groups versus something that's quantitative. So the first thing it wants you to click is your quantitative thing. And I'm going to be doing the GPA, whether the GPA differs based on whether you're male or female. And I'm going to go down here and click OK. Now, right here is where you can see uh, the the original data, like what was the average for male, what was the average for female. You can also see the statistic. And right now, it's suggesting that female is lower by 0.17. But what we're doing here is the confidence interval to see whether zero is plausible or not. So you'll click on your generate 1,000, and then you'll also click on the two tail, and this graph is done. Now, what you'll do with this is you'll take your graph, you'll include it as part of your project. You'll write a little summary about it. Again, that's what my first video was about. But again, you'll see down here that you've got your negative number and another negative number, which is just suggesting that zero is not plausible. But that's it. Again, that's all I'm doing in this video is just a quick like how to make your graph. But then from there, you need to take it and write a little paragraph about it where you talk about 99 and you leave it at 95, 95% confident that the difference in proportion, the difference in means for this group and this group, mention your variable. This one was about GPA. Again, just look at the template. Okay, so that's how we make the graph. And you'll do your part two to talk about it. And then if we're doing the confidence interval for difference in proportions, so notice when you go into this, it doesn't have a spot for you to upload your data, but that's okay. What you'll want to do first to make sure you get your fractions for your group one and group two like nailed down is just this is the one we're about to use, but just go over to this one first. That's the left of it, the two categorical. And this one has a spot where you can upload your file. Again, I'm just going to upload the CSV I downloaded with my data set. And then I'm going to click my two variables. I've got my female versus male. And then I've also got over here whether they felt that social media is um, a negative effector in their lives or positive. And then once you select those, you can click OK. And so here it is. This right here gives you a breakdown of your fractions. Now, more specifically, I'm looking at female who said that the social media was a negative factor, which was 23 out of 26. And then also for male, it was only 1 out of 6. So you would want to write those fractions down. You can also just click on, if you have your main two groups as your rows, you can click on rows, and it'll also show you the values to be expecting for female who said that social media is negative is 885, and for males it was 167. But again, the main thing you need from here now, if for some reason you have your I'm gonna switch the variables. If you have your main two groups like up and down like this, then you'll want to read it vertically, like 23 out of 26 female and 1 out of 6 male. Same fractions. It's just if you happen to have your main two groups on the top, then you'll need to read vertically. But I like just having them just over here to the side. My main two groups, 23 out of 26. And I don't even need the positive stuff. I'm focusing on who said that social media was a negative thing. All right, so I got 23 out of 26. Remember that. And I've got 1 out of 6 for the male. And so we're going to go over to 23 out of 26 and 1 out of 6. So now we can go here to the difference in proportions, and we can go to the edit data and actually put those numbers in. And you can put whoever you want for your first group and your second group, but you'll put the fraction. 23 out of 26 of the females said that social media was a negative thing, and then only 1 out of 6 for the males. And then watch, when you get over here, you'll see those numbers that I had just mentioned a few moments ago. For female, it was 88.5, and for male, it was 167, where female is higher by about 71, 72%. And now we're ready to bootstrap. So we'll do the generate 1,000. We'll click the two tail, and then this one's done. Yeah, so down below, let's see if I can get as much of my screen as I can. You've got the interval of 0.346 to 0.962, which definitely suggests that a higher proportion of females would say, at least according to this sample, indicates that a higher proportion of females say social media is a negative thing, as opposed to the male audience. Yeah, and that's it. So again, you'll need to go over to the other graph to be able to get your fractions, and that's it. All right. Well, I hope that helps. Again, that's focusing on these two right here, just doing the confidence interval. Again, the mean one is just boom, upload your file, click your two variables, you're done. This one though, yeah, you're gonna have to go over here to make sure you get your fraction for your two groups and focus on the main response that you were looking for. So I had negative and I had positive responses, but I was focusing on the focus was on who said that it was a negative thing. Yeah, so you don't need your whole entire data. You just need your main response that you're looking for. Okay. All right. Well, I'll go and stop sharing there and that recording. Get that posted. Hope that this helps.